Hello everyone and welcome back to our off-season review, otherwise now branded as 7 Minutes in Heaven. I don't know, I'll work on the title. But next we're going to be going over the Des Moines Corn Kings. This is the team that just lost the Gen Bowl, and yet they've made a lot of different moves this off-season, which I don't know if they're going to make the team better or worse. I guess we'll have to find out, but I will be reviewing all of that for you today. So let's just jump right into with as always, first the departures, then the additions, and then what they could be looking for in the draft. So here are the notable departures for the Des Moines Corn Kings. As you can see, a lot of starters are leaving the team. First of all, you have former league MVP Hugo Zachary at quarterback. Obviously, there are reasons why this man is not considered one of the better players from last season, but he did have a stellar year, and he's going to have to be replaced by someone who doesn't have the same history that he does. So we'll see how that works out. At tight end, Cooper Stroker, he's going to be moving on from the team, another really talented player. And then the defense, which is losing a ton of good players. Kazuya Wakamatsu, Blake Sellers, Avery Roberts, and then in the secondary, they're losing their top three corners, Parker Thomas, Noah Underhill Jr., love that guy, and Eddie Lynch, along with safety Andrew Aaron the 15th. All of these guys were big contributors to the Corn Kings last season, and many of them were just purely from their talent. So I think this is going to be a lot to replace, and I'm very interested to see how they are going to go about doing it. But we'll go over that with the additions section to the team. So there are some positions that are more obvious than others. At quarterback, you're going to be seeing Harrison Miller make his debut for the Corn Kings. We'll see how that goes. He's had a few good seasons with Jamaica, kind of out of nowhere, but he does come in with a little bit of pedigree, not as much as Hugo, but we'll see how he's able to perform. Replacing tight end, you have Ricky Rivera, who has a big 3-year contract with the Corn Kings, so he's going to be there for a little bit. And then they bring in defensive lineman Bubba Dacius. He's set to slide in at defensive end, and that'll complete a silver or above defensive line for that team. You're bringing in Morgan McDaniel at outside linebacker to replace some of the talent there. And then at cornerback, you're bringing in Billy Bigitz, who was a cornerback elsewhere, and he's coming in. He's currently their #1 corner as a silver, but I assume that they're going to be trying to replace some more talent at those positions. And then they also brought in Charles Fontaine at safety. It looks like he's going to be the starter there, but we'll have to see later. But let's move on to who I think they could be targeting in the draft. This is just a very small list, as the Corn Kings have a lot of draft capital to use. We'll see how they're able to use it. So I only have a couple of draft targets for the Corn Kings. They have a ton of draft picks, as I just said, so there's going to be a lot more than this coming into the team, but here are just a couple of people that I'm thinking about right now. They're obviously going to be drafting some offensive linemen. I think Jack Marius Thibodeau would be one of the first people that they think of when they're looking for a big center just to clog up the holes, make running space for Nolan Pierce. At cornerback, they're going to have to replace some of the talent that they've already lost. So I think a guy like Fugu Gaipen is going to be a good pickup for the team. He has 2 interceptions through 3 games. He's going to be highly rated, most likely. So I think getting him in the 2nd, 3rd round would be a good spot for them. At wide receiver, I have Ronnie Shanahan. Now, people might be a little bit surprised by that, as this is one of the guys that hasn't really performed that well. I think he still has a lot of potential. I think in these next couple of Rise League games, Ronnie Shanahan could come out and play pretty well. But he's going to be there in the later rounds. So I think that Ronnie Shanahan being there is going to be somebody that they can pick up who's a good community member and will be a good fourth receiver for the team, and then depending on what happens in the future with the wide receivers that they have, keeping him on long term. And then you have at fullback Nick Cricks III. They're going to have to pick up a fullback or a backup running back, as those are the rules. And I think a guy like Nick Cricks, who we've seen break off a couple of big plays in the Rise League so far from a fullback spot, would be a good place to go, a nice cheap option for them. So that's what I think is going to happen there. Yeah. So that's the Corn Kings breakdown. As a summation, I think that this team is going to be good. This is a playoff team for sure. I don't know that they'll be in the Gen Bowl this year, but I guess we'll just have to see. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Let me know what other teams you want to see covered. What do you think the Corn Kings? How are they going to finish? Give me a record guess in the comments below. Make sure to check out our videos. Rise League WFA regular season is coming very soon. Wait for the draft. That'll be also very exciting. So yeah, that's it for me right now. I'll be seeing you guys in the next one.